Ladies and gentlemen, it is the homemade broadcast, an HM bonus edition of the show. It is, what is it, Monday, November 20th, 2023. My name is William Kuntz. Welcome back to the show. Home_made_man, Instagram and Twitter. The homemade broadcast at gmail.com. Leave a text or a voicemail, 813-693-2124. I got some stickers left, a few more left, and some window clings. I sent a few out. Kevin got one. Rachel, or somebody else. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head, but those are on the way. They are in the mail. So hopefully you'll be getting them soon. And get yours. Just email me, thehomemadebroadcast@gmail.com. Be sure to get some out to you, or text me your address, 813-693-2124. This evening, it's birthday week, baby. For me, my birthday is this. Let's see, it will be Saturday, I believe, the 25th of November. So check it out. I got this today, actually. I stopped into a small store up in Pinellas Park called the Tilted Barrel, and I actually got a really good bottle from a Tilted Barrel. I don't know if they're affiliated with the store, but there's another one way up north on US 19 called the Tilted Barrel, where I got a very nice bottle. Maybe I'll show you later this week. I don't intend on opening it, but maybe I'll show it to you. I got this today, Kentucky Par. It is a 12-year, 100 proof bourbon, bottled 10/2020. I've seen this a few times before. I didn't buy it because it was too expensive. I got a pretty good deal on it, so I decided to pull the trigger on it, the 12-year bourbon. So let's give it a try. It's a little oaky. It's okay. It's okay. I probably wouldn't buy it again, but it's fine. I think I saw, there's not much online about it either. I think I saw that it was sourced from Barton. I heard MGP too, which does a lot of them. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Is it worth $100? Probably not. But you don't know until you try. So I'm glad I got to try it. And today we are talking about the U.S. Army and COVID. I think we could talk about COVID on YouTube now. I think it's safe. I've done it a few times and I've gotten no pushback. So we're not going to talk about the effectiveness of the shots that were in some cases mandated, maybe not by the government, but by, businesses that were urged by the government to do so. A lot of the employees were not forced, but strongly suggested that you take this vaccine. And if you didn't, you would have to go through these outrageous protocols. I know Johnny B went through this at CMG. He did not get the vaccine and was forced to test, I think it was weekly or daily or something, and upload the results on the computer. And it wasn't easy. It was a pain in the butt. So it wasn't forced, but it was strongly suggested to do so. I did get the vaccine. I got the not the mRNA. I got the Johnson & Johnson one and done fake one. And do I regret it now in retrospect? Yes, probably. I think I'm okay though. I don't know if the Johnson & Johnson is under as much scrutiny as some of these other ones that were out there, the mRNA ones, and their potential side effects. Let's just say sudden death potentially being one of those. I think the Johnson & Johnson one got pulled because it was giving ladies blood clots. And as far as I know, I'm not a lady. I don't identify as one either, so I should be okay. That I'm not going to get sick. But you never know what could happen down the line. Did it make my life easier though? Having that piece of paper from the government that said I got this it's not a procedure, but a what do you call it? It's not a procedure. It's a medical necessity. No, that's not the right word either. I got the stupid thing. Okay, that's really what we mean. And I was able to. I traveled, went to Louisiana, New Orleans during that time, and I was able to get into bars, and they didn't give me any trouble. I just had to show my papers, and so yes, went against my thoughts and feelings at the time. I didn't feel like it was necessary since I had the bug, a few months before, a month before. So I was good because of, natural immunity and what we've always known about these viruses for many, many generations now, but this one was different for some reason. But anyway, I went against my thoughts and feelings on it out of convenience. And a lot of people did. And it worked. A lot of the pressure worked for some people, but a lot of people didn't do it. A lot of people stuck to their guns, and I admire those people for not doing it. They really didn't want to. I also, if you wanted to, I don't have a problem with that either. I don't think you should force anybody to do it, but if you want to do it, absolutely go for it, man, or lady, baby, whatever. And one place where the government did kind of push their weight around a little bit was on the military, the army. They said, if you don't get this thing, we're going to kick you out of the army. And some people said, fine, do it. And Uncle Sam said, okay, you're out. Bam, you're bounced. The policy justified by the Biden administration as necessary for military readiness cost thousands of soldiers their careers, despite the enormous human cost and years of evidence and data repeatedly confirming that COVID vaccines were ineffective in preventing infection or Are they still saying that? By the way, I'm reading this article. I think you can tell, right? When I'm actually talking and when I'm reading. Are they still questioning that now? They're pretty open about that now, right? I think. Unsurprisingly, given the military's relentless efforts to alienate the population from the most willing to serve, they faced a severe recruiting shortage. Gee, I wonder why. Why aren't people jumping to join the military in 2023 in November? I wonder what's going on over the past several years. Okay. So it's not just, recently they've been undergoing a little bit of decline, over the past few years. And they apparently so desperate that they're reaching back out to the soldiers that they kicked out. The Department of the Army reportedly sent out letters to former soldiers who were discharged and dismissed for refusing to get the COVID vaccine, informing them of how they could reapply. Man, it's always absurd and offensive for the military or any branch to kick out soldiers for declining to get the vaccine. This is them saying this, not me. Not only because it has led to personnel shortage they're currently facing, but because the military is overwhelmingly made up of young people at little risk of severe illness from COVID, especially considering the elevated risk of myocarditis as a result of COVID vaccination faced by. Yeah, I saw Fauci finally came out and said that. He did say that it's still not as strong as it actually having the virus and having myocarditis, which I think is up for everything's semantics now. You zoom in on a chart, it says one thing, you zoom out, it says another, and you can just lie and manipulate data to make it whatever your point of view is. I've also heard people say that absolutely not. That is not the case, that the COVID itself was more likely to give you myocarditis than some of these shots that were going on. I don't know. Look it up for sure. I'll be one of those people who say do your own research, because I do not have the time or patience to dive into this stuff. And I don't have a high enough IQ either. You really have to read this information that are medical journals and stuff, and I can't do that. Instead, they're sending quarterly letters. I saw that they said that this was never made sense, this COVID vaccine mandate for the military to is. I think it makes a lot of sense if you're trying to build a certain type of army, a certain type of person who joins the military that maybe, at the time we were, ramping down some of these wars. We just got out of Afghanistan, that debacle there, where people were falling from airplanes, and the city was taken back by the Taliban. Actually, not even the city, the whole country was taken back by the Taliban in a matter of hours. So that was a complete debacle, but at least we weren't in Afghanistan anymore. We went home. Now you can be a little bit more selective with who you pick to be on your team, who you pick to represent the country, the morals and values that you wish to instill in a culture and in a generation and in a fighting force. And, people who don't listen, do what they're told, they go, you got to go. You cannot be here. And potentially, because we're in this dividing space where there's just a binary, there is no gray area, there is no nuance, there is no, you can't add context and stuff. Like, it's just 0 or a 1. We're a total binary now. So you are going to either be with us or against. It's the Bush doctrine all over again. It's just with, the COVID vaccine. So if you want a certain type of folk who maybe it was weird because before the vaccine, Kamala Harris was out there saying that she wasn't going to take Trump's vaccine, and as soon as they got elected and put in office, it became Biden's vaccine, and they didn't have it before, and that was a lie. And people who were, once kind of like unsure about it since it was Trump's vaccine now said, "Oh, well, that switch just flipped immediately, and now they're pro and very pro." And people who you know, it was the opposite on the other side of the spectrum, right? So it was like people who were once for it were like now totally against it. And it was by who you voted for, at least a big number. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who are GOP voters who are pro-vaccine and vice versa, like the Robert Kennedy, Democrats, the liberals, or Hollywood, essentially the ones who are not so bananas about the COVID vaccine. But I think widely you're going to find Democrats are pro-vaccine, Republicans are anti-vaccine. If you want a fighting force who's taking over your country to be that fighting force, you want the ideals of the total state, right? You want the people to represent what you're all about. So it made a lot of sense for the military to mandate this thing. People were going to vote for the current president right now, which is Donald Trump. No, I'm just kidding. Not getting into any of that stuff. Joseph Robinette Biden, maybe you'd want your soldiers to agree with everything that, he stands for, what he wants, right? At least on this one issue, which usually garners agreement in other issues. It's weird. Like you could tell me, people with a coexist sticker on the back of their car, who they're probably voting blue. You got a don't tread on me sticker in the back. It's probably voting maybe on the red team a little bit. Now, there's always overlap. There's always exceptions to the rule, but I think you know what I mean here, right? Um, it's just it's a never ending binary now that we live in. And it's a shame and it's sad, but it is real. So it made a lot of sense for the military is now consolidated with people who will shoot you if you don't get the vaccine. That's what the military is now. However, now there's bigger fish to fry. Now you got Ukraine going on. You no boots on the ground there, right? Although I think there is boots on the ground training their personnel over there to get blown up on the front line. And now you got America's 51st state, Israel getting involved in another war, and because they were attacked. Yes, that's true. It's a long history, very complex situation. So I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't know. It's too complicated for me. I tried to look into it. It's just too much. But now you got the that going down, and now I think some of these people in charge are going, might need some of these guys with Salt Life stickers and Don't Tread on Me stickers to go out and fight and die because we don't have enough people because everybody's dying from the vaccine. All of our people are dying suddenly. No, I'm kidding. Of course, that's not true. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have opinions. I just, observe and I report, and that's all I do. Okay. So go join the military, is what I'm saying. You should join the military. You should serve your country. I'm going to stay here and hold it down. Okay. But I think all of you should. Have a nice little sip there. Cheers to everybody out there fighting and dying for things that they believe in. And in many cases, things they don't believe in, just because there is no jobs, because we're not allowed to drill for oil in this country. So there's not much else to do but go to another place and die. And that is the highest purpose. Much like, there's people that strap bombs to their bodies and run into places and set them off. And that is the only thing to do there because there's not they don't have the internet. I think that's why. Speculating, I don't know. Things are bad. Things are bad. I think everybody knows that, and people have eyeballs and witness it, and some people live in a certain amount of delusion, some more than others, but I think people know. And however you got to cope with that, some people go to another land and shoot people and get shot. And some people sit with a very expensive, too expensive bottle of whiskey and they cheers those people. And that's where I am. And I wish you a good eve. Thank you so much for tuning in. And give me a call, 813-693-2124, hmbradio.com, willsyoutube.com. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and subscribe on podcasts too. HMB Radio on your favorite podcast app. Should be very interesting. Johnny B show tomorrow, last one for maybe maybe for me for a long time, but I don't know. We're gonna see. Should be fun. So 10 p.m. tomorrow on the Bone. Look forward to seeing you, talking to you, and enjoying the essence of our time. Have a good one. See ya.